Good morning, Alberta. This is Peter Gray coming from sunny Florida. We are at the beautiful Mardanza farm doing an educational schooling day for dressage tests for eventers. We're about to do 4 USCF preliminary test A, and then just for fun we'll throw in a couple of advanced tests for you to watch at the end. But just before we start, a little preamble. How do we derive at these scores? Well, the first score for each movement that we pull out of the sky as judges is for the quality of the gait. So for the walk or the trot of the canter, whether it's a 7 or 8, that's our starting point. And then we have what we call modifiers, which can influence that score and make it go higher or lower. For example, on a 20-meter circle, if the quality of the gait is a 7.5, but the tempo is not even, we might drop it down to a 7. Or if the bend is not correct, we might go down to a 6.5. If that 7.5 shows impulsion, we might go to an 8. And if the suppleness and the relaxation is there, we might go to an 8.5. So every score has a starting point for the gait and then modifiers which can influence the score up and down. So one of my jobs today working with these riders is to teach them how they can get better scores, squeeze more marks for every movement. And you might be thinking as you watch some of the video that some of the techniques for getting a better score aren't necessarily how we're taught. For example, the deepness into the corner. But as a judge, I can tell you, riding these certain tests in a certain way, you're going to get more marks. So we are expected to judge according to the training scale, the German training scale, which should be our principles for training horses. So number one, most importantly for me in judging the gaits, the walk, trot, and the canter, is the rhythm. After that comes relaxation and looseness of the body. And I wrote a comment in a test last year, and it was happy horse equals happy judge. And this is really where judging is going. Controlled tension is no longer the way to ride dressage tests. It's got to be a happy look. It's got to show the freedom of the gaits. So I really dislike short neck, strong hands. We have to show the freedom of the gait and a happy look as we do the whole test. All the transitions must be smooth and fluid, not robot-like and working too much on accuracy, but more progressive transitions up and down and fluid transitions. So preliminary test A is a fairly nice test. It's got some leg yields. I would advise you, some of you who are doing leg yields, to think of the important thing about training leg yields, that every step is the same. It doesn't matter so much that you get huge sideways steps. It's more important that even if you're only getting small steps, that every step is the same. The position of the leg yield, we are taught the horse needs to be parallel to the long side. But I can tell you as a judge, if the forehand is slightly leading and a small amount of flexion in the opposite way, the appearance will be more fluid. So you're going to get a little bit of a higher mark. So especially for these lower level horses, I don't mind if the forehand is a little bit leading in some of these leg yields. So enough preamble. We'll have a look at 4 prelim rides now. So as you're going around the ring, do something that you do well. Don't show the judge what you can't do, show the judge what you can do. So this rider's chosen a nice active working trot, and if that's the highlight of his gaits, that was the correct thing to do rather than coming in out of canter or going around in canter. So if you're coming in off the left rein, leave the letter A to your right, as he did. active, smoother at C. Score 7. Supple and active, 8. Box 3, the halt is late, not square. Promptly to trot, the score is 6.5. Box 4, circle right. More balance, 7. Smoother onto center line. Too much neck. Sideways steps inconsistent, 6.5. Box 6, too deep into corner. Losing rhythm at X, the score 5. Box 7, smooth onto center line, CL. Fluid, even steps, too much neck bend, 7. Box 8, 20-meter stretch circle. We'd like to see the nose going more towards the knee, so this is a minimum amount of stretch for me. So more stretch, 6.5. Box 9, the medium walk, smooth and forward, 7.5. HXF, free walk. Establish correct neck position sooner. Not consistent. Also more march, 6.5. Box 11, medium walk, uphill and relaxed, 8. For the canter, lifting head, more prompt, 6.5. Medium circle, circle not round, beautiful jump and uphill balance. So not a big demerit for the geometry, but the score is 8. Box 14, nicely balanced, 7.5. Left lead canter, obedient, 8. Now we're on box 16. Lengthening frame nicely, 8.5. Box 17, losing rhythm at end, but good quality, 7.5. Center line, very straight, 8. And for the halt, not square, 7. Nice job, Matt. So I'll just do the collectives while I'm... No, stay there, but you can hear them. And then we'll go over the rest of the desk. So gaits, I haven't been given an 8.5 yet for gaits, but that was an 8.5. Beautiful gaits, beautiful gaits. Impulsion, haven't seen a hind end activity like that today. Very, very good engagement of the hind quarter. And a very supple horse. 8 for impulsion. Submission, lightness on the forehand, that he is. Obedient, he seems very willing. A couple of times he got a little hollow in the first canter transition, but obedient horse, 7.5. Rider, nice position. I'm going to come down from an 8 to a 7.5 because of the geometry of the circle and the canter. We had about 3 strides where he went straight on the long side. But good collectives. So for the specifics of the test, a nice active entry, smoother at C, which means round off that turn. At this level, turn earlier, make it like a half circle left. And then that'll be the first time the judge sees you from the side. He will appreciate and give you good marks for the suppleness in that first turn. So that was a 7. The circle left, I find those quite difficult to do at any level but 8. Supple and active, those are our 2 main goals for circle work. Halt was late. I think you're probably getting to know him, how quickly he or doesn't respond or responds to the half halts. You asked, but he didn't just respond right away. Not square, but he was nicely prompted back into the trot, 6.5. More balance for the second circle to the right, 7. Turning onto the center line, make that also like a half circle. Yeah, boxed up in the corner, which made that whole turn not as fluid and not such a good start to the leg yield, which was 6.5. Too much neck bend, I think, probably because he was struggling with the balance. Changed the rein, MXK. Again, for me, too deep in the corner. You almost took away that fantastic impulsion that he has naturally. And then he came out without the balance and lost it at X and almost cantered, so 6.5. That was probably generous. Centerline, that was a smooth turn. That was the correct turn, like a half circle onto the center line. That was correctly done. Still too much neck, 7. More stretch, 6.5. And not only more stretch, but keep the stretch consistent. Medium walk, 7.5. Smooth and fluid, beautiful transition at C. Free walk, correct neck, but you need to create it sooner at H. So I would start giving him the rein in the turn. So at H is not where you start thinking about the free walk. At H is where the judge wants to see the free walk. Medium walk, highlight, 8. Beautiful transition to a more uphill frame, beautifully done. Trot and then canter, right lead, more prompt off the aids, and he lifted his head and inverted the neck a little bit, 6.5. This was our circle in canter to the right, not round, but we actually came down from an 8.5 to an 8 because of that, but incredible jump, beautiful balance, real quality canter. 7.5, nicely balanced with your half circle back to the track. Left lead canter transition was much better, 8. You lengthen the frame nicely, what we talked about with your other horse that didn't happen. You really lengthen the frame, 8.5 for that medium canter. Losing the rhythm a little bit at the end. I'm not sure if it was because he was using the bathroom or he was just laboring a bit, but we went into a little bit of a 3.5 beat canter. But center line, 8, not square, halt to finish for 7, but really, really exciting horse, really fabulous. Yeah, very nice, well done. Very straight, smoother at C, 7.5. Circle large, more balance, 7.0. Abrupt, Hollow, not square. Please circle 3 seconds. Score 6.5. Circle large, more bend, 7. A down center line. So we're on box 5. So she gets a -2 on the column. Lacks fluency, 7. Correct neck, tight at K, 7. Energy fading, still a 7. So the lack of bend is a 0.5, and the nose needs to go lower than the chest to be able to get in the 7s, so 6.5. 6.5 more stretch is the comment. Box 9, smooth and forward, 8, and now we're on 10. More following hand, nose more forward. Good march. 7.5. Soft rebalance. 9. That was really good. 9. Hollow at neck at K. 6.5. Sometimes against hand. 6.5.
Sometimes what?
Against hand.
Okay.
6.5. Well balanced, 7.5. Can you put too deep in corner and put an asterisk next to it so I see that? Okay, box 15, well balanced, 7.5. And 16, no comment, but an 8. Box 17, haunches slightly left, better geometry, 7.5. Very straight, 8. And 7.5 for the halt. Okay, so the collectives, you want to write them in? Gates, 8, 3 very nice gates, 8. Engagement of the hindquarter and suppleness, which is the ability to bend, 7.5. Submission, slightly against the hand and some down transitions, 7. Rider, very effective use of aid, 7.5. So I'll just have a quick glance at these. Thank you. You had lots of riders get straight, but you got a very straight. That was super. But you came down from an 8 to a 7.5 because you didn't turn early enough. You went right up to C and then made a 90-degree turn. And when you did that, you took away from the freedom of the gait, the quality of the trot. So when you get to G, pretend it says half circle left. And that's the way you should ride with a novice horse, with an advanced horse, the same way, to show the suppleness, to show the freedom. But still a 7.5. Both of your 10-meter circles were a little over the center line. Maybe he's just too green, he has trouble with the balance. Yeah, I said more balance, 7. That halt was abrupt, hollow in the back, not square. He didn't wait for 3 seconds. So all the things you could do wrong, you did them. Not quite sure why I gave you a 6.5, but anyway. The second circle, again, large, 7. Okay, the leg yields, 7, lacks fluency. He looks like he's supple. It looks like he does them well. It looks like you need to be more positive the way you ride them. So each step is the same with an even tempo. Sometimes the energy fades, sometimes the tempo slows and builds, but he's supple. It looks like he's easy for him. So I think you should look at H and ride towards H with a little more leg, almost like you're lengthening the trot. And that'll get you into the 8s for sure. Okay, the stretch, more stretch, 6.5. Medium walk, smooth and forward, 8. The free walk, okay. The biomechanics of the way a horse walks. The nose goes forward and back, kind of downward, forward and back. In canter, it goes upward and forward and down and back, and upward and forward and down and back. So in walk and canter, we have to have a following hand, like an automatic release jumping. In trot, head position is more still. Our hands aren't locked, but they are in more still position. So you're doing your free walk with your hands outstretched like that with a straight arm. So they can't give. So then the nose isn't as forward as it should be. Okay, so keep a bend in your elbow and just practice out hacking with your eyes closed, just that following hand. So that, but he's got a great walk. It's had nice march. Medium walk, yay, my first 9 of the day. Beautiful transition. You were so clever how you just slowly picked up the contact and picked up the uphill balance. But then he hollowed the neck in the canter, and I think it was because you went too deep in the corner. Okay. Stay out of the corners. Okay. All your teachers tell you to go in the don't stay out. You know, now that I'm judging all my students, I say, okay, stay out of the corner. Yeah, okay. Yeah, show the freedom of the gait. Medium canter on the right, he was sometimes against the hand. Well balanced for your half circle. Medium canter left was super, 8. And then your half circle left, be careful your outside legs isn't too strong. The haunches came in a little bit, so that dropped you from an 8 to a 7.5. Again, very straight on the center line, 8. 7.5 for the halt, if you could give that to her. Well done. Lovely rider, lovely horse, like super job. Good energy. Rider tilted left, 7.0. Freedom of gait shown. Even tempo, 7.5. Box 3, the halt, late but square. Some tension on depart, 6.5. Box 4, falling in, losing balance, 6.5. Fluid, consistent steps, sometimes losing roundness, 7. Active hind end, but hocks trailing, 7. Box 7. Smooth onto centerline. Better fluency this way, 7.5. So I want to see that nose stretching more down closer to the knee. So for box 8, even more stretch. Nice quality trot showing bend. 6.5 because there wasn't enough stretch. Box 9, smooth and forward, 8. And now 10, the free walk. Correct neck and activity, score is 8. So box 11, keep the same activity, just raise the pole upwards. So box 11, nicely uphill, 8. Box 12, obedient, 8. And for the canter circle, haunches slightly right. Losing rhythm at E. 6.5. Box 14, the half circle, well balanced, right, 8. And box 15, the canter, also an 8. Medium circle, better balance this way, 8. And correct rhythm in the working canter. Box 17. Maintain rhythm nicely, 7.5. Box 18, very unbalanced, 6.0. For the halt square, please circle 3 seconds. So he was square but restless, 6.5. So Alan, I'll do the collectives now. For the gaits, very nice gait, 7.5. Impulsion is a combination of the engagement of the hindquarter and the suppleness, which is the ability to bend, 7.5. Submission, straightness. Sometimes you lost the straightness, the haunches were in, going to the left. You have to work on the balance with a little bit. Sometimes he did fall on the forehand. The last movement was a good example. As he turned on to the center line, he was on the forehand, just dragging you down the center line. So while he's confident in the mouth, I think sometimes you lost the response to the half halt and the softness. So 6.5 for submission and 7.5, nice position for rider. So Alan, the energy of your entrance was good, but it's a little distracting when the rider is tilted off to the left. So get Sarah to watch you a little bit. Make sure that your left stirrup isn't longer. Make sure that your saddle is fitting correctly. So you're just a little bit to the left, and that's very obvious on the center line. But nice active trot, good energy, 7. The circle to the left was one of your highlights. It was beautiful. Real self-carriage, freedom of the gait was shown, nice light contact, active and showing the correct bend, 7.5. The halt at X was quite late. It was square, but 6.5 for the lateness of that one. Circle to the right, 7.5. A little bit falling in on that second circle. And also onto the second line, center line for the leg yield. The center line to the leg yield left, losing the roundness a little bit, losing the connection a little bit in the leg yield, but it was fluid. Seven. The length and stride in trot. He's active, but sometimes the hocks are trailing. We need to get him more underneath, more engaged. So I would say before you come in the ring, more forward and back, trot, small trot, big trot, small trot, big trot. Medium, okay, the circle left 20 meters with the stretch was 8. The medium walk to the free walk, all the walk work was 8. Really nice medium walk. Free walk was the correct neck shown, the pole lowering to the same level as the wither, the nose slightly forward, plus the march. That's all the components to get an 8. But then you kept that nice forward walk and just got him more uphill for the medium walk, which was perfect, another 8. Much better canter transition to the right, 8. Again, we lost the straightness on this right circle. The haunches come in a little bit, and also the rhythm wasn't as good as the left lead canter. So the rhythm being so important on the training scale and as an essential for good judging, it's almost better, I think, on your right lead canter to go more forward so the rhythm is 3 beat, rather than trying to balance it so it's 3.5. You'll get a better mark if the rhythm is correct. So that was the 6.5. Funnily enough, when you brought it back for the half circle, probably because you used more seat, you had a really nice quality canter, and that was an 8. Got a couple more 8s, working canter, left lead was 8, and the medium canter on the left was much better balance, 8. You maintained the rhythm nicely as you did your half circle, 7.5. Very unbalanced onto the center line, 6. And 6.5 for the salute. He was square, but needs to stand still for at least 3 seconds. Well done, nice test. So she wasn't quite ready with the balance of the trot, so she was smart to do a circle. Coming in off the right rein, she should have left the letter A to the left. Okay, so for box 1, good energy, very straight, scores 8. Supple and active are 2 big components. Small loss of rhythm, 7.5. Box 3, the halt, a little early, not square behind, 6.5. Box 4, more suppleness this way. So always try to show the same amount of bend to the left as you have to the right. So for that circle, 7.0. Box 5, losing balance, too much neck. 6.0. Box 6, the length and stride. More push from behind, but fair effort, 7. Smoother onto center line. Fluid, 7.0. The diagonal doesn't affect your score, but better to be on the correct diagonal or in front of the judge. So hardly any stretch, 6.0. Against hand, 6.5. Now for the free walk, correct neck plus march. Very good quality walk. 8.5. Not accepting contact for the medium walk, 6.0. More prompt, 7. Now we're in box 13. Haunch is slightly right. Nice ground cover, 7. For the half circle, more balance, 6.5. Lifting head slightly, but obedient, 7. And for the medium circle, haunches slightly left, good ground cover, 7. Better balance and rhythm this way. Overshot center line, brings it down to a 7. Counter bending onto center line, that's a no-no, 6.5. Not square, 6.5. Well done. So for the collectives, for the gates, it doesn't matter that he's struggling with the balance with some of the movements. When we judge the gates, it's the quality of the walk, trot, canter. So, probably 8. Very, very good gates. Engagement of the hindquarter is lacking a little bit, but I think it's just strength because he's got a very active hind end. It's not just always there. Same with the suppleness of the back. He bends nicely to the left, not so good to the right, but I think it's more strength thing. So 7 for impulsion. Submission is accepting the contact, but also his willingness mentally and his attitude today. I think for young horse, he didn't show tension. That was pretty good. So another 7, 7.5 for rider. And the individual movements, you know, that was a really nice entrance to capture the judge's attention in the first movement, to show that beautiful energy that he has in his trot. So that was an 8. Just slight loss of rhythm on that first circle. And again, for young horse, those 10 meters are kind of difficult, but you still got an 8 because you had activity and you showed the correct bend. The halt was a little bit early.
Yeah.
Most of them are late. I'm not used to an
I
early
know
one.
the last time when I
Yeah.
halted, I was late.
But I didn't kill you for that. But not square behind, so 6.5. Going to the right, he doesn't bend as well. So even though that's the way horses are, you must try harder to the right to make it look like to the left. It's disappointing when the judge says not as supple this way. So 7 is the score. Losing balance on that first leg yield to the left, partially because of his strength, but also too much neck bend.
Yep.
So that was 6. Lengthen stride, he's just not strong yet. More push from behind, fair effort, 7. Smoother onto the center line for that next leg yield. What that means is do a half circle onto the center line with the green horse. Don't try to make square turns, that's hard for him. 7 for the leg yield, hardly any stretch, 6. I probably should have given a 5. The essence of the movement is the stretch. I don't care how beautiful his trot is, and he didn't. Against the hand in the walk transition at C, 6.5. Free walk, correct neck, and super march, 8.5. Beautiful walk. The transition to medium from free, you just have to practice that. He wasn't accepting the contact. 6. More prompt to respond to that canter. Canter 8, he was probably enjoying the idea of walking. So 7, a little bit not straight in the canter to the right. The haunches are slightly in, but nice ground cover, 7. More balance in that half circle. That's a tough movement in a 20/40 for a young horse, 6.5. Slightly lifting head in the left lead canter, 7. And medium canter, slight haunches left, but better rhythm this way, especially on that half circle and back to the track. So a couple of 7s there. As you turn onto the center line, don't counterbend him. That's just basically showing the judge that either he's not supple or he's falling in from the leg. So have a correct bend as you go onto the center line. So that was 6.5, not square for the halt, 6.5, but really promising young horse, beautiful gaits, nice mind. So good luck. You should have a lot of fun with that one.
Is this Leah? Yeah. Leah.
So coming in off the left rein, leave the letter A to your right. So you can see she had to leg yield back on the track. So that's just not a great way to start the test. A little wobbly on that center line. Not quite straight, 6.5. More balance. Even tempo, more even tempo, I should say. 6.5. Not square. More prompt depart. 6.0. For the circle to the right, active but unsteady contact and needs balance, 6.5. The leg yield, fluid, but head more still, 6.5. Now the length and trot. Shows potential, but tight behind. Leading to unlevel trot, 6.0. The leg yield, head more still, steps not even, 6.0. Even more stretch, but good enough for 7. The walk was smooth and forward, 7. She was just walking away from me, and as she turned at H, it looked like the rhythm was going a little bit wonky, but I couldn't really see it. So for the free walk, encourage downward stretch and more contact, 7. Box 11, medium walk. Not accepting contact, 6.0. Box 12, 7 for the canter, no comment. Box 13 for the medium canter circle. Correct neck and ground cover, 8. Nicely balanced, 8. Tight in back before and during transition, 6.0. For the medium circle, not relaxed, 6.5. Box 17, falling in, some tension, 5.5. Smooth onto centerline, nose wagging L and R left and right, 6.5. For the halt, not straight but square, 6.5. Okay, I'll do the collectives. So for gates 7, impulsion, I think the tightness in and back affected the engagement a little bit. You did show the bend left and right quite nicely. 7 for impulsion. Submission, we had tension today. He was a little bit alert. 6.0 for submission. Position and seat of rider, I think your hands are moving too much, and I'm not surprised because he looks very springy in the trot. So that probably makes it difficult to keep your hands low and still, but it does lead to his nose going left and right a little bit and adds to the unsteadiness of the connection. Okay, so for the movements.
Oh, did you give him right?
I didn't. A bit of a wobbly entrance. Just look behind you at the letter A. If you come in off the right lead, off the right rein, you want to leave A on your left. If you go around A, you're already starting with a little bit of a loop. So it makes it very difficult to be straight on the center line, which you weren't. That was a 6.5. He struggled with the balance on that 10-meter circle, I think because he's got so much power. And the tempo, the 1-2 of the trot was not even, 6.5. Not square in the halt, and he took too long to respond to the leg to go back into the trot, so that was 6. Circle to the right, again, active. He's got a very active hind, which is nice, but unsteady in the contact and needs more balance. The leg yield left was fluid, but again, the head more still. It's all a connection issue. Lengthen stride, shows potential, but again, that tightness in the back is going to make him not as engaged as he could be, so 6. Center line, leg yield right. The steps have to be even. Every step the same, and they were not even, and the head again moving again, another 6. 7 for the stretch, but show even more. That's the essence of the movement, is the stretch, so show even more stretch. Nicely forward for the walk transition. For the free walk, again, a little bit lower and make him take a little bit of a light feel with the contact in the free walk. And practice the free walk to medium walk. We've seen a lot of that today. The horses aren't accepting the contact in a soft way. He kind of came against you and was fussy. So that needs to be practiced. Trot and canter, 7, not bad. Medium canter, quite light. In fact, I gave you an 8. That was super nice. Half circle to the right, that was good balance, 7.5. And working canter right lead, much better transition this way, that was an 8. So the canter on the left lead, the medium, he just wasn't as relaxed as the other way. Do you remember that left lead canter, medium? And he was a little tight, and it affected the rhythm of that canter. Half circle to the left, again, that tightness continued. He fell in, became counterbent, so 5.5. You were smooth onto the center line for that final center line. It should be like a half 10-meter circle onto the center line. You did a good job with that. It was smooth and nice. But then we had the nose wagging left and right. Okay, so low and still with your hands. The final halt was square, but not quite straight, 6.5. Well done. Do you want to give this to her?
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's important going around the ring that you show the judge what you can do, not what you can't do. And we're just having already a little bit behind the vertical. So I'm already a little bit watching out for that, Maxime, but nice activity. Okay. Watch is a little bit right. Good activity. They're quite a bit right. Turn sooner at C. 6.5. Active, some suspension, 8. Active, improve fluency, 7.5. Obedient, 8. For the medium circle. Circle small. Ground cover shown, 8. Well balanced, 8. Improved geometry, 7.5. Box 8 nicely forward at X, 7.5. Nice jump, circle small, 7.5. Well balanced, 8. Correct loop, slightly behind vertical, 7.0. Quality canter. Softer hands at X, 8 is the score. Now we're on 13, the halt. Slightly late, not square, 6.5. Some hesitation, and resistance. More willing. 4.5. Can you include in box 14 uphill? And the downhill for the free walk starts at H. You don't need to write that.
Okay.
Super activity and reach. Correct frame. 9. More uphill. 7. Losing focus at A. Not supple this way. 6.0. Stretch, include bend. So that cost her 0.5. The score is 7.0. Well balanced onto CL. Eight. Losing balance. 6.0. Collectives, gates 8, impulsion 8, submission 6.5, the comment some resistance, position and seat of rider 7.5. Nice job. Very nice horse. So I made a comment, which you'll see on the video, as you're going around the ring. Do show the judge what you can do, not what you can't do. And while the trot was very impressive, he was behind the vertical, so already I'm thinking, uh-oh. But it only came up in the test once. But when you're going around the ring, be careful you don't show the judge that. Okay, so at the entrance, 6.5. Good activity. The haunches are tending to go to the right on the center line, so you want to think a little bit renvers left or something to straighten it, because that's an important movement. And we've talked about this before. At C-track left, make it like a half circle left at G and show the bend. You left your turn too late and he came up with his head, so just show that smoothness, help yourself with the score. Some nice moments of suspension in the first lengthen, so 8, that was super. Said for your leg yielding, it was active again. It's got a great quality trot, but improved the fluency, and I didn't realize at that time. And a 7.5, that was actually your better direction. It just, when I say improved fluency, he was great for 6 steps, and then there was hesitation, and then great for 5 steps, and then a little hiccup. So it needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, every step the same. But 7.5 is a good score. It was well done. Then you had canter. You had a bunch of 8s for that. That was super nice. When I said one loop down the long side, one loop in canter, improved geometry, you didn't get to the center line. Plus, I would recommend 1 or 2 horses' lengths on the center line, just so you don't make it like a triangle and risk losing the balance. So go to the center line, stay on the center line, and then leave the center line. But that first one you didn't get to the center line. Okay, change of rein, nicely forwarded X 7.5, circle right 20 meters in medium canter, really, again, real quality canter. try to lengthen the frame a little bit in the medium, and both of your 20-meter circles in the medium were small. They were inside R and S. They would need to be 2 meters the other side. Small point, but it's a 0.5, and every point counts these days. 8 for the canter, the second loop. 7, he got slightly behind. That's where he got slightly behind the vertical. Changed the rein, working trot at X, again 8, he showed that flamboyant trot at X. The halt slightly late and not square. The rein back, work in progress, I guess.
He's one of the better ones, actually.
Yeah. Okay, but still a 4.5, but you made up for in the free walk night. That was super. Correct frame, correct nose forward, reach in front, activity behind, so it showed all the things. In the medium walk, keep that same activity, just change the frame, and the pole needs to come up. The pole was too low in medium. Medium walk means up, raising the pole. Don't change or balance or collect the walk, just change the elevation of the pole for the best mark. Then your serpentine, correct stretch. Yeah, he stretched nicely, but you are on loop, so there's a 0.5 for the bending.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, I haven't done this one. I was like, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, okay.
Not good.
Well, you fudged it well. The center line, 8, and then unfortunately he just had a stumble going into the halt. But very, very nice horse, well ridden.
Thank you, Peter. I really appreciate it.
Collectives, I think they were good. Yeah, 8 for gates, 8 for impulsion, 6.5 for submission, some resistance, some loss of focus at times, and 7.5 for rider.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you later.
Nicely balanced on center line. Not square behind. Prompt move off. Supple at C.
You're very welcome to warm up over on this side of the ring if you want.
7.0.
Yep. I just try to have no more
Expressive.
than in there, but there's plenty of room.
Nose more forward. 7.0. Box 3, energy fading. Final third. 7. Box 4, correct position more forward. 7.5. Softer contact, longer neck. 7.0. Supple and active. 8. Fluid transition into shoulder in. Plus energy. 8.5. Engagement and ground cover shown. Nose more forward for improved reach. 7.5. Box 9. Nicely positioned, lacks suppleness and fluency. 7.0. Well prepared at H. Energy fading. More bend at end. .0. Box 11. Softer connection at K for smoother trends. 7.0. Tempo slowing midway. 6.0. Release rein in turn at V. Encourage downward stretch. Pull the same level as the wither. 6.5. Box 14, the medium walk, nicely uphill. 7.5. Technically correct. Tempo slowing final quadrant. 7.0. Box 16, more crisp. 7.5. Box 17, the medium canter. Expressive, ground cover, 8.5. More sideways jump, lacks suppleness, 6.5. More quality in canter, approaching the change. Became hollow before change, 6.5. Box 20, the extended canter, lengthen frame more, 8.0. Okay. Half pass from H. So box 21 is a -2 on the side. Box 21, the half pass left, struggling with bend and rhythm, 6.5. Quality canter on approach to change, late behind. 4. More jump to clean up rhythm, 7. and 7 for the halt. Good job. So I'll just do the collectives for the scribe. You can hear them. Gaits 7.5. Impulsion is the engagement of the hind end and also the suppleness of the back. Some directions he wasn't bending enough, the half pass to the left, but in the canter, the trot was fine, the canter was fine. But so for impulsion, 7.5. Submission, I'd like to see him just a little more relaxed in his mouth. I thought he was, maybe a little bit on edge today, so 6.5 for submission. Position was nice, good ringmanship, 7.5 for rider. So the individual comments, how did you feel about that? So I felt it was not bad, but could be just a little more. Yeah. Yeah, it looked like in the extendeds that if you could be softer with your hand, we'd get the neck where it wanted, but if he was being strong, maybe that was hard to do today. Also, the stronger contact in the canter sometimes affects the rhythm, and we're judging also according to the training scale, and rhythm, of course, is number 1, and the canter just got a little 3.5 beat at times because I think of the strong connection. But if he's not pulling and the self-carriage is better, then maybe that'll improve. Nicely balanced on the approach. Prompt move off, supple at sea, so all that was nice. Medium trot was expressive, but I think the nose just a little more forward. He's got, the nice thing about this horse, he's got the engagement. We're talking about engagement, but this horse has it. So if you can just fix more of the softness of the front end. Trot circle to the right. The final third, the energy was just fading a little bit. Everything else about it was fine, 7. Shoulder in right, 7.5. When everything's correct and you think, God, I've got the position, I've got the angle, just go a little bit more forward to turn that 7.5 into an 8. Next medium trot, softer contact, longer neck, 7. Then your trot circle 10 meters was supple and active. That was nice, 8. Shoulder in left. I love the way you transition from your circle right into shoulder in with the same bend, 8.5. And that just seemed a little more fluid, the shoulder in to the left. Extended trot, engagement and ground shove cover shown, which is for me the big components. Then it's more forward, so we can turn that 7.5 into an 8. Half pass right, nicely positioned, but lacks fluency. Half pass right, 7. It just looked a bit stiff. It's just got to be more fluid. Everything was correct technically. Half pass left, well prepared at H, but again the energy was fading as you got to the center line. 7. So I would practice length, shoulder in and leg yielding and half passes with lengthening in the middle so he doesn't fade. The half turn on the haunches to the right, midway the tempo, the speed of the activity started to slow. It just slowed down midway. It didn't stick, it just suddenly slowed down. So I think you have to fix that, not during the half turn, but on the approach. Do shorter steps, but more active steps, which might be hard when he's on the muscle, but shorter steps and more active. And then, before you get into it. Because once you're into it, you're committed with the quality of the walk. More crisp into the right lead canter. I mean, I'm being picky, 7.5, but I thought it could have been more crisp for an 8. Expressive ground cover in the medium, 8.5. That was beautiful. Really nice. Uphill. Half pass right. Again, the suppleness, more sideways jump. He looked a little bit sticky today, 6.5. 6.5 for the flying change, more related to the canter coming into it. It looked like you were going through a lot of thought process in preparing for the canter, and you forgot to ride the canter maybe the last 3 or 4 steps. So 6.5, Sandy probably would have given a 6, even though the change was good. Extended canter, 8. I think you could go 9 if you could lengthen the neck a little bit. But again, if he's being strong, it does say lengthen frame, but 8's not a bad mark. Half pass to the left, I felt he was struggling with the bend and the rhythm in that half pass left. So 6.5. I was disappointed with that change because I was way more happy with the quality of the canter coming into the change. The first one it's faded, but this one you had a great canter, and whether you over asked and he kicked out a little bit, was late behind, I'm not sure, but I was disappointed because I thought the canter was great coming into it. And again, in the half circle at the end, more jump in the canter to clean up the rhythm. It was just starting to get a bit labored in 3.5 beat. 7 for the halt.
All right. I think I've got the afternoon all in.
Good test. Yeah, you're welcome.
Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Sarah.
Morning, Anne.
Good morning.
Morning, Suzanne.
8:42.
Do you have that winning feeling?
You look it. Wasn't that horrible? I'm old enough now that everybody's dying.
Okay. Box 1, lunker neck. Very straight. 7.5. Box 2, supple at sea. More flexion plus bend. 6.5. Supple and active. 8. Smooth at H. Square. 8. More willing. Drag the toes. 5.5. Box 6, correct position, more forward. 7.5. Fluid, 8.5. Box 8. Smooth at sea. Nicely uphill. 8. window mark 8.5. So same comment. Box 12, more bend 7.5. Bold 9. Box 14, clear 8.5. Box 15, losing rhythm before L. Box 16, more sideways jump 7.5. Slight, okay, we might be wrong because I forgot the transitions in 14.
No, you gave them to me.
Okay, box 18 now. Active 7.5. And box 19, square 8.
Just the collected and extended where you started.
Oh, okay.
And you were about to say slight, and then
Yeah.
you worried that you were.
Box 17, hawks trailing slightly.
Sorry, I gave him the wrong information at that last
Slight
one.
left
I've written
bend.
the test, it's my
That
fault.
was what I was going to say.
Sorry, bud.
I don't have a number there, not that it matters. I'm gonna switch.
7.5. And then 7.5 for the overall. So Sarah, well done. Were you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm just mad at myself because I gave him the wrong information a couple of places. Definitely
Oh.
at the last change, he thought I wanted to walk.
Right. So,
He was good.
yeah. Is it okay with you if we just hand the sheets back without a score?
Yeah, we'll score him.
No. The riders, I don't think, need the scores. They just want they don't care about the overall score.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wouldn't
makes
that
my
make it
life
easier for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I'll just look at this. So, before you came in, although that the judge isn't really probably watching you much, do something you do well when you're going around the ring.
Yeah.
It was really the only time in the whole test I saw that neck very, very short. So you entered, I'm already like looking for that. You're going around the ring, oh my gosh, the neck is so short. I hope she doesn't ride the whole test like that. It was short on the center line, but it went away. But already you spoiled the 8 for the entrance by just that 0.5 for being a little bit too short. So be aware, do something impressive going around the ring.
Present it better. Yeah.
Have a better plan for your
Okay.
tour. Okay, so that turned out to be nice. So C-track left, beautiful geometry, smooth turn. You showed the bend and the suppleness, so I love that. The shoulder and left, more bend and more flexion.
Yeah.
Now I find with most of my horses that if you need more bend on the left, less angle on the right, it's always consistent. So remember your left shoulder in, a little more position, a little more angle, a little more bend, a little more flex, a little more of everything, but especially the flexion, the position of the nose. And then I think the bend will follow.
Okay.
So that was only a 6.5. Half circle and your half pass, supple and active 8. Those were just super, really good. I love the smooth turn at H to get to your halt. So that added to your 8. It was square. Rein back. Be nice if he was more willing, and dragging toes is a 5.5. Shoulder and right. Everything was correct there for the angle, the bend, the flexion, and when you have that a little more forward to turn that 7.5 into an 8.
So everything was correct on that
Yeah.
one, in the angle and the flexion,
Yeah.
the bend.
Just
but
more
but
forward.
a little more trot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, your half circles and half passes are your highlight. 8.5 for the one to the right, fluid. Really smooth transition at C for the walk and nicely uphill. That's what I'm looking for the medium walk. So another 8. Extended walk. nose more forward,
Okay.
nose more forward. And we've talked about the following hand in the walk
Okay.
to allow the biomechanics of the way a horse walks, his nose goes forward and back. You have to have a light feel on the following hand, just like you're doing an automatic release over a jump. So you have to have that to allow the reach of the front. There's only one step of over track, and that's you can only go 7 for that. So
Okay.
I think if you let the nose more forward, your arms are absolutely straight. Keep a bend in them so the elbows follow.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you can use more seat, and I think you can turn that into a very good mark.
Okay.
So a little bit the way you ride the extended walk. That canter, I wanted to give you an 8.5, but someone would probably say I'm favorites because you're the boss today. But that really was a 9. The flying, the picking up the canter was uphill and obedient, bang on the letter, smooth forward. Flying change again, exactly same comment, uphill, engaged 8.5. Half pass to the left, more bend.
Okay.
Not
Same
surprising.
thing as the
Same
shoulder
thing in
in.
the shoulder in.
Okay. And I think you mentioned that to me a little before, that I need to show it more in the canter.
Yeah.
Think more in the canter.
Yeah.
With the bend. Okay.
So far it's the same thing in the trot,
Okay.
shoulder in, and the extended canter. Oh, there's your 9. Oh, superbly done.
Good boy.
Bold, big ground cover, and
Then I buggered up the second change.
the transitions 8.5. I particularly like you were so brave going into the extended. That was super. Yeah, the flying change. It's all about the quality of the canter. Once the change is clean, your scores are elevated if the quality of the canter is improved. And if he's thinking about walking, or he just
I
lost,
didn't give him the right information.
he just lost the rhythm coming
Yeah.
in, so that really
That screwed it up.
affects that. So that dropped it down to a 7. Half pass to the right, not as supple this way, more sideways jump for your half pass and canter to the right.
Okay. Then I didn't trot on time.
Extended trot, 7.5 is a good score, not a bad score for the extended trot, but he's active, he's powerful, he's ground cover, but the hocks are just a little bit out. So in training, I would do maybe 3 half halts over X,
Okay.
or like in the 4th level test, 3 collected steps, 4 collected, and then go again, just to kind of compress him. Because that could be a highlight, that extended.
Okay.
And 8 for your final centerline square halt.
Okay, thank you so much.
Very
So-
solid test, very good.
So don't look like an idiot before I go in the ring.
So I have
I
to
need more
reset
bend
the
on my left shoulders and my left top,
Yep.
especially at the canter.
Yep.
More activity on the right shoulder and make sure I'm clear about the change.
Yep.
I don't know why the rein back was like that today. I must have done something weird. It's normally normal.
Yeah.
And I've got to move my elbows in the extended walk.
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
That was really cool.
Brought to you by Equestrian Video Productions LLC.